Can you beat Oprah, by the way?
Yeah, I'll beat Oprah. Oprah would be a lot of fun. I know her very well. You know, I did one of her last shows. She had Donald Trump, this is before politics, her last week. And she had Donald Trump and my family. It was very nice. No, I like Oprah. I don't think she's going to run.
But you can beat her.
All right, thanks, everyone.
I don't think she's going to run.
Jeff, Jonathan.
Right.
I know her very well.
The president today dismissing the suggestion that he might go head-to-head with Oprah in the 2020 presidential election. For her part, Oprah gave this emotional stem-winder of a speech at the Golden Globes Sunday night before a national audience, which she might have suspected would stir talk that she was running for something. This morning, her best friend Gayle King didn't exactly say, absolutely not.
I absolutely don't think that her position has changed. I don't. You know, I was up talking to her very late last night. I do think this, though, guys. I do think she's intrigued by the idea. I do think that. I also know that after years of watching the Oprah show, you always have the right to change your mind. I don't think at this point she is actually considering it.
Here's how Politico reports the story. Quote, political operatives who know her and those who don't agreed. A woman as smart and savvy about the American public and the media could not have given that speech without knowing how she'd stir the presidential speculation pot. Now she gets to see how the reaction plays and who comes calling and decide if it's something she really wants. Well, with us tonight is Matthew Nussbaum, White House reporter for Politico, who happens to be co-author of that story we just quoted from. Matt, instead of asking you for your opinion, which I know I'm not going to get, I'm going to ask you to lay out the case for Oprah running that you've heard in your phone calls and conversations, and the case against Oprah running.
Well, I'll start with the case for her running, which was surprisingly strong. I woke up in the aftermath of that speech and thought all the Oprah 2020 talk was a little bit silly. But then as I reported out this story, it really did start to make sense. And operatives, both Democrats and Republicans, said, look, she would be a very, very formidable candidate if she decided to run. And this is not just, oh, in the wake of Donald Trump, anything's possible. Yes, she has the name recognition and the money and the capability to self-finance. But what people told me, again, both Democrats and Republicans, was this is not someone like The Rock or Kanye West saying they're thinking about running for president. Oprah is much more than just a celebrity. She came up in poverty. She built a major business, is internationally recognized and respected, has done a lot of humanitarian work. She would not fit in just the celebrity category. So I think all that she has going for her. I think the case against her running, which some of the folks I talked to brought up, is why would you do that to yourself? She's not nearly as divisive a figure as Donald Trump was when he started running. She's widely popular. She's widely admired. One of the best ways to tank your approval ratings is to run for political office.
I heard Van Jones say tonight, we live in a world that Oprah helped to create, but that Oprah doesn't rule. And I think he is hoping very much she does run. Do you think a Trump White House, and you were there today, saw you in the briefing room, will take this talk of an Oprah effort potentially as a serious matter?
I think they will take it seriously. I think we all learned the lesson in 2016, and I think the Trump White House would know it better than anyone, that you have to take these sorts of things seriously. Not too many people took Donald Trump seriously. He's down on the other end of Pennsylvania Avenue right now in the White House. I think a candidate like her, in a lot of ways, is much more frightening than a generic Democrat or sort of a Bernie Sanders or an Elizabeth Warren, who's a known quantity, who's already widely disliked by a lot of Republicans, sort of a traditional Republican versus Democrat lineup, in a lot of ways works to Trump's advantage. Someone who would change the formula like Oprah, that's what makes her such a scary candidate for Republicans and such an attractive candidate for Democrats.
And there's no hiding the fact that Democrats are the wounded party right now. They don't have control of the House, Senate, or White House. And as you write in the piece, Democrats could use a little fairy tale.
That's right. I'd say it's a deeply wounded party. At the same time, you've got a lot of Democrats who would like to run for president. They see Donald Trump as very vulnerable in 2020. I think, and my reporting indicated, that something like that only works to Oprah's advantage, the same way a crowded field worked to Donald Trump's advantage in 2016. You know, Scott Walker and Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz each had their followings, but Donald Trump just sort of towered above everyone in terms of name recognition and could sort of just dominate the field. I think you'd see the same sort of thing with Oprah. She would dominate media coverage and leave the Kirsten Gillibrands and the Cory Bookers of the world lagging way behind.